I bought a box. I bought a box of the Street Fighter 6 amiibo cards. This was expensive. So inside comes with 6 cards. And you can see right here, it says, contains 22 amiibo cards, I think. I mean, I don't know, this looks kind of thick to be 6 cards. But I highly doubt there's 22 cards in here. I don't know, I didn't open it yet. I saw it was restocked on GameStop, or rather, EB Games, as it's back to now as. Well, when this first came out, I was debating back and forth, do I want to collect them, or do I even want to buy one? Well, in my indecisiveness, I was too late. It sold out. But then I saw it restocked recently, and I thought, you know what, let me just buy one. And let me tell you, this was expensive. It was like over 40 bucks. And then it was like $11 for shipping. So I spent over $50 on this one little box of amiibo cards. And I highly doubt that all the cards are in here. Now, throughout the years, I've gone back and forth on if I want to collect amiibo cards as well as the amiibo figures. Of course I want to, you know, but there's a reason I stopped collecting Pokemon cards. Too much money spent on it. So I don't want to have to buy pack after pack after pack until I collect every card, you know? But that's just how it works. So at the moment, even though I wish I had a complete set of all the amiibo cards, Animal Crossing, Mario Party, I think, those baseball cards exclusive to Japan. As much as I wish I had all of the amiibo cards, for now I'm just going to stick with, you know, the physical stuff. The 3D stuff. So the amiibo figures, the power bands you get from Nintendo World. Yeah. But for now, I have this. I have one for now. And of course I'm going to open them to see what cards are inside. I haven't done that yet. Gonna try my best not to damage the box. I hear fireworks outside. And believe me, they're not gunshots. I've heard gunshots before. Okay, I got the box open without without damaging it. Okay, there's more than 6 cards in here. I don't know, when I bought this online, it said 6. Now it's, yeah, the box says contains 22. I don't know how many cards are actually in this set, if one has all of them or not, or if there's more than 22 for me to collect. It comes, what the hell? How do I take it out the box? Oh, okay, that's interesting. So it comes in a plastic little cover. Alright, let's get all my greasy finger oil onto these. By the way, I don't know if you can tell by the lighting, so here's... Okay, so they're numbered, that's nice at least. I'm sorry you can't really see these, this isn't really going as well as I thought. Anyways, all the way to 22. I don't know if that's all of them in there, or if there's more. I mean, I suppose they're numbered. The box says 22, and I have the cards numbered from 1 to 22, so I'm going to assume this is all of them. Look at that, even on the back, there's an Amiibo card logo. So I'm just going to assume, okay, I collected them all, yippee. If only that were the case for the other Amiibo cards, like Animal Crossing and Mario Party. So tomorrow in Pokemon Go, tomorrow for me, or you know, the day that this goes up, will be day 1 of Pokemon Go Fest of this year. And I am already over my credit card limit for the month, so if I want to buy more Pokecoins for raid passes, that's gonna come out of my debit card. I mean, it's a couple bucks, who cares? Okay, this is not easy to put back. You know what? I'll do this after. I'll put the cards back into the box after. So, speaking of Pokemon Go, before Go Fest, we have been getting a shit ton of Regis in the raids. And we've had timed research where if you do 6 raids, if you win 6 raids, you get your choice of one of the 6 Regis, your choice of one of the 6, to guarantee have the backgrounds associated with them. And today, I got my hands, finally, on all 6 of them with the background. Now, none of them are shiny with the background. That is incredibly hard to get. Obviously, I would have liked for that to be the case, but that's just not realistic unless I spend a crap ton of money. So I was perfectly content just simply having the background for one of each. In the process, while doing so over the past couple of days, I got a shiny Regieleki as well as 2 shiny Regidragos. Can you believe that I'm still missing shiny Regis in my game? In my Pokemon Go, I still do not have a single shiny Regirock or Registeel. I got another shiny Regice today. However, I did not get it from raids. I got it from the timed research, meaning my shiny Regice is in a regular Pokeball. It's not in a Premier Ball. You normally cannot have that unless during events like these. So in my eyes, pretty special. Aside from that, I believe yesterday, I got a random shiny Houndour, and then earlier today, right as I opened the game, shiny Eevee. Just a little while before Eevee Community Day Classic. And you know what, speaking of Eevee, in TCG Pocket we now have the Eevee Grove set released. I got unluckily lucky so far. So to start off on my sister's phone, the 2 packs I opened. The first one, I got the Dragon Knight EX, the 4-diamond one, and then on her phone I pulled the full art Jolteon. This was all yesterday. And then after I opened the packs on my sister's phone, on my phone, I also got the Dragonite EX. Well, nothing special on my sister's phone today, but today on my phone, when I opened the packs, I got Dragonite EX again. I got 3 Dragonite EXs. Oh, you want to hear something crazy? A while ago, how I mentioned I believe it was the Shining Rivalry pack. My friend pulled the gold card on that right away. The Pokeball gold card. Well, that same friend, yesterday when the Eevee Grove went live, he didn't pull the gold card, but he did pull, on his very first pack, the 3-star immersive Eevee card. Lucky motherfucker. I can't seem to pull shit on my games. I pulled 3 Dragonite EXs in a row. We also have a couple of small little, we have some Hollywood news to discuss as well. So, this was in the headlines all over today. A bunch of sites were reporting this today. Michael Bay is returning to direct another Transformers movie. Excuse me. Yes! We are getting Michael Bay back to direct the Transformers movie, or at least a Transformers movie. I have been waiting for this for nearly a decade. To this day, I am still waiting for a continuation to the storyline they set up with Quintessa. And not only that, I completely forgot about this too. Someone I text on Discord, he brought up the fact that as of the end of the 5th movie, Unicron is sticking right out of the earth. I'm just like, oh yeah, that did happen. Man, the 5th movie isn't that great. And because of that, they completely lost their minds and changed trajectory. They broke ties with Michael Bay, they went into a new soft reboot direction, giving us prequels, and now Michael Bay is supposedly back to direct another Transformers movie. Yes! Give me Transformers. Well, it's no longer going to be Transformers 6. Give me a continuation to the story that you set up nearly a decade ago. Man, I hate it when Hollywood does this. Just one of their movies flops or doesn't do great, and they completely change direction. They change their entire plans. Just give us the original plans. If one stumbles, you know? Just because one movie stumbles and loses its way, it doesn't mean the franchise is lost forever. I mean, for God's sake, look what happened to the Snyderverse, right? I don't hate the movies, the reboot Transformers movies, all the prequel ones. I don't hate them. I just wish we get a continuation to the story. And because it's been such a long time, of course I want Mark Wahlberg back, but it's been nearly a decade. I don't know if he will return. I would love it if he would return, but still. It's been quite a while. And right now, it's only rumored that Michael Bay will return. That means there's no script, there's no green light yet. They're not even in production or in the casting process yet. Nothing has started yet. So we're minimum still, I would expect 2 to 3 years away from another film. Well, another film directed by Michael Bay, that is. But, you know, there is hope. There is hope for the franchise. Michael Bay's return. I have been waiting for a continuation on the story for almost a decade. And by the time the movie comes out, if it continues the story, it will have been over a decade. Now, we all know Transformers 5: The Last Night isn't the best movie. I personally thought it was rather boring. And because of that, I've only ever seen the movie once. Transformers 4, however, that's my favorite Transformers movie. I know that one's very divisive. Not a lot of people like it. But I love it. That's my favorite Transformers movie. Age of Extinction, that's the one I personally like the most. So, in my eyes, we went from the best Transformers movie to the worst Transformers movie. Maybe I should watch The Last Night again just to give it another shot. Like I said, I only watched the film once, and that's when it came out, which was almost a decade ago. Maybe I'll give it another shot if I do a Transformers, like a full Transformers rewatch. Maybe I'll do that when the G.I. Joe crossover film comes out. But yeah, I am psyched to hear that Michael Bay could be returning to direct another Transformers movie. The prequel films, the reboot films, the soft reboot films, I should say, they weren't bad, but they were just missing the vibe of the Bayverse movies. They just didn't have the same feeling. They had a different feeling. They had their own feeling, which wasn't necessarily bad. It's just, you know, it was missing that touch of Michael Bay direction. Aside from Transformers, we also have breaking news. Literally just before I started this, news broke out that Matt Reeves has supposedly finished the script for The Batman Part 2. If that's really the case, then at long last, finally. Now, we're still over 2 years away from the film. It's coming out in 2027. Isn't it October 2027? So if the film is done, then at least that's one step in the process. The script is done. They're gonna do casting afterwards. Well, you know, that's not it. That's not the immediate next step, but you know what I mean. Obviously, we already know who's going to play the big characters, but we still need to cast the new characters in the film. You don't need me to go through the entire movie-making process with you. You know what comes next. But all of that's still going to take time. It's still going to take quite a bit of time before they even start rolling cameras. Well, they got 2 years. They have, like, I would assume... Yeah, they have 2 years. They have a couple months before exactly 2 years. So, a couple months, get everything you need in order. Start filming, take a year to film. Maybe more, depends. And then, you know, a year of post-production. I know that's super simplified. It's more complex than that. But if they stick to something similar to like that, then we're good, you know? Alright, so one more thing. Today is actually the release date for Squid Game Season 3. Today on June 27th is Squid Game Season 3. And I'll be honest, I didn't watch it yet. I kind of forgot. I kind of forgot to watch it today. So next time, I will have an episode of Squid Game to discuss. Sadly for today though, we do have on the agenda one episode of Ironheart to discuss, and then another episode of Gen V plus The Boys Presents Diabolical. So next time we will have all of that plus an episode of Squid Game Season 3. Ironheart. I'm gonna give it a fair shot. I'm going to watch every episode as much as I don't want to. I'm still gonna give it a fair shot. But just know, so far, I don't like it. I've only seen one episode so far. 3 episodes aired at the same time for the show's premiere. One episode was enough for now. I'll have episode 2 watched for next time. Oh, right. There is one quick thing I want to mention about Pokemon Go. So, in the month of July, we will be getting Solgaleo and Lunala in 5-star raids. Sadly, they cannot be shiny, at least not yet. But the fact that these two are showing up in raids is actually pretty incredible. I swear to God, I swear to you guys, I was literally about to transfer 2 of my 4 Cosmogs from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Home. Because I would need to evolve them into both Solgaleo and Lunala to be registered into the Home Go Dex. And I'm so glad that I did not transfer them yet. Because now, with the 2 of them showing up in raids, I only need to transfer 1. I can just transfer 1 Cosmog, evolve it into a Cosmoem, and then later on transfer a Solgaleo and Lunala that I caught from the raids. So instead of sending 2 of my 4 Pokemon Go Cosmogs to Pokemon Home, I now only need to send 1. And to all you losers out there who evolved your Cosmogs into Solgaleo and Lunala preemptively, L. Me, on the other hand, I still have all 4 of my Cosmogs. I didn't evolve any yet. It wasn't really something I was thinking of. I was thinking more of transferring them to Pokemon Home to get them registered. But I'm glad I didn't yet. I'm glad I held off. Now I just also need to wait patiently for another Poipole to be released into Pokemon Go. Or if someone is generous enough to trade me one. Okay. I just realized I didn't check the audio yet tonight. And it would have been mad infuriating if this whole time I was speaking and none of it was being picked up. By the way, a quick little update to my Pokemon Diamond progress. I'm on Route 10 right now. I'm grinding for levels. I'm just gonna grind until level 40. My entire team is level 39 right now. I did have to catch a separate Starly to use Defog, because I sure as hell wasn't teaching that to my Staraptor. Here I am, right here. Right outside of... You know what? I'm not even gonna go in there. I gotta use Defog again. So, yep, I'm here, just grinding for levels back and forth. Okay, let's put on some music and start talking about these shows. First up, we're gonna talk about Ironheart. What music do I want to play? I'm trying to think. Oh boy, let's start talking about Ironheart, shall we? Alright, so after a couple years, we follow back with Riri Williams, absolutely nobody's favorite character, both in the universe and in the comics. Nobody liked Riri in the comics. We start with this little flashback with her and her friend Natalie, though it was pretty obvious that the story's implying Natalie died. So, we start off by seeing Riri Williams at MIT. And before we actually talk more about the episode, I want to bring this up, just about the MCU as a whole. There's one particular character that I don't see anyone ever bring up where this character is at. For God's sake, they brought back the MIT guy from Captain America Civil War to be in this show. But this other character they've never brought back once, and I've seen no one ever ask what happened to this character. The character in particular I am referring to is Helen Cho. She was in one and only one Marvel project, Avengers Age of Ultron. What the hell happened to her? Now, yes, I know Age of Ultron also had another character who was one and done in the film, that being Quicksilver. But we saw what happened to Quicksilver. He was killed off on screen, so it makes sense he hasn't showed up again. But what about Helen Cho? She kind of just disappeared. And you know what? Speaking of Quicksilver, man, poor Aaron Taylor Johnson. He has now done 2 Marvel projects where he is it's one and done. He has done Quicksilver in Age of Ultron and also Kraven. Poor guy. He just cannot land a Marvel role that sticks. Alright, so anyways, back to Ironheart. Because I know you're all dying to hear my thoughts on Ironheart. By the way, I think the last time we had a Marvel show was Agatha, right? That was long ago. So yes, Riri Williams is at MIT and she needs money. Oh, also during the opening sequence with a cutback to her and her friend Natalie, we start off the show by seeing just how infuriating she is. She's just like, I'm gonna be bigger than than Steve Jobs. I'm gonna be bigger than Tony Stark. I'm gonna be bigger than all of them combined. It's like, okay, there's nothing wrong with having ambition, having goals, having a dream in mind. There's nothing wrong with that, but like the way that you're toning it, your demeanor is just not likable. You know, I can say all I want, you know, I'm gonna use my intelligence, and I'm gonna surpass Elon Musk to be the richest man on the planet, but you don't hear me talking smack about him, you know? You don't hear me going like, Elon Musk is a loser, he's an idiot, he doesn't deserve that money, I'm gonna show him how it really is done with my genius, my intellect. You know, you don't see me saying stuff like that. And we do see later on in the episode, Riri Williams has to, like, physically hold herself back from roasting Tony Stark. So you absolutely can flame the guy if you wanted to. It's not the same as, like, Quentin Beck hating Tony Stark. Or, you know, the tons of other characters who hate Tony Stark. You just hate Tony Stark because he was Iron Man due to the fact that he had money. And someone like Riri Williams has the genius to do the same thing, but doesn't have the resources. Now, I'm trying to be fair. I'll give her some sort of pass. She doesn't... I don't know how well known in universe, you know, Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps. I don't know how well known that is, how public knowledge that is. If Riri Williams doesn't know that while Tony Stark was in a cave and built an Iron Man suit with a box of scraps, no money, I don't know if she knows that or not. If she does know that and she's still roasting Tony Stark, low blow. Yeah, but anyway, so she's at MIT. She has the technological resources to build her Iron Man suits at MIT, but she doesn't have the money. So what does Riri do? She helps students cheat on their projects and exams for money. So because of this, Riri Williams gets expelled from MIT. Which Critical Drinker actually pointed out an excellent point. Riri, what more do you want? You have already been given a free scholarship to MIT. What, the most prestigious school in the country? Where your projects are already being funded for like 4 years? So she gets expelled from MIT, and what does she do? She ends up taking her suit with her. She ends up basically stealing the suit that she made with MIT resources. Now, I don't know if, since you made it, if it's technically yours or if it's school property, I don't know. But for the sake of the story and the fact that she had to steal it, I would assume it's technically school property. And I've seen people online, I've seen Critical Drinker and Tyrone Magnus point out the fact that, well, if you want to go against, like, racial stereotypes, you know, stealing probably isn't the best look. The CGI looked pretty good, I'll give them that. I mean, they had 3 goddamn years to polish up the CGI. It better look good. It better look more realistic than actual physical props. So Riri Williams flies all the way from MIT to Chicago, Illinois. I'm not too sure how far that is. And the suit has the MIT AI helper, a little pencil character. Which, because she's now expelled, well, that went offline. Riri crashes into the city, and she has to walk the rest of the way home, wearing bits and pieces of her suit. At the same time, we meet this, laughably cringe group of criminals. And yes, it did come out before the show aired. What, there's a trans actor playing a character named... Wait, no. A trans actor playing the character Slug. So, the actor looks nothing like the character from the comics. This show is painted with woke DEI. Every box has been checked. So they do this, like, house burglar job. There's this poor guy who wants the codename Rampage, but his entire team says, nah, that's cringe, bro. That's lame, bro. You suck, bro. You know, I'm making it out. I'm making it as if they sound like the Tracksuit Mafia. So their leader is a guy, you know, known as the Hood. He wears a hood. I believe his name is Parker. Man, and I liked this guy too. I've only seen him in Rise of the Beasts, but I thought he did a pretty good job in that. A guy like him is wasted in a show like this. What was his name? Anthony Ramos? So Riri gets home. Oh, right, they also need... So they see Ironheart flying across the sky, and then they get inspired to track her down to recruit her. Riri gets back home, and her mom is with her friends. Comically, at the wrong moment, she's just like, man, Riri, ever since what happened to her father, as well as her friend, right as Riri was outside listening in. Let's see. She goes to this, like, store where the owner knows her and her friend Natalie. I don't think the guy knows that her friend Natalie is dead. So she was actually going to ask for a favor, like some sort of like money favor, but then this guy, I think his name is John, this guy comes up and offers to help Riri with payment, and then he gives Riri a card, like, here, my employer wants to hire you. Come by tomorrow to this place for an interview. So the next morning, Riri goes, and then it's a trap. She's in the elevator, it's in the style of Saw, she needs to escape or she dies. And, you know, she's being watched by the cringe crew. Instead of doing the escape route that they that they set up for her, she has her own methods of escaping, which greatly impresses them because, you know, they heard that Riri Williams was a genius. So once she escapes, she talks to Hood, and he's just like, you want money? Work for me. Obviously, it's nothing legal, otherwise that'd be a lot of money. Otherwise that would not be as much money. But hilariously enough, Riri actually agrees. You know, I thought she wanted to be a hero. I thought she wanted to save lives, not be a criminal and steal for money. But the end justifies the means, right? As long as, at the very end of the day, if her goal is to make this money to do good, then I guess crime and theft is okay, I guess. Well, the crew needs the Ironheart suit by tomorrow, so Riri goes back home and works on it. And then she gets this flashback, PTSD flashback to the day that her father and her friend Natalie died. They were killed in, like, a drive-by shooting, I think. Well, she sticks a couple of wires onto her head, and it takes like 4 hours to download, what, her brain waves? Her consciousness? I don't know. At the same time, we see that Hood is getting more back tattoos, alright. Also admiring his villain cape. When Riri wakes up, her friend Natalie is standing right in front of her, but it's not really her, it's a hologram. It's a hologram of her friend made by her downloaded memories. Now, this ending line to me is just so stupid. She's just like, Natalie? And then AI Natalie's like, who else would it be, bish? It's like so stupid writing. And believe me, there were several times in the episode where Riri had to hold herself back from roasting Tony Stark. What is there to make fun of the guy? Sure, he may not be the perfect guy, you know, but he did save the universe. I feel like everyone who hates Tony Stark is forgetting that. He sacrificed his life to save the universe. Don't forget in Endgame, not only did Tony Stark save the universe by bringing half of them back to life, he also saved the universe by stopping Thanos with his brand new plan. Remember, in Endgame, Thanos' new plan was to shred the universe down to its last atom, and then, with the stones they collected for him, create a new one, teeming with life, that knows not what it has lost, but only what it has been given. So aside from bringing back half the universe, Tony Stark also saved the universe, losing his life in the process, and you're gonna roast him for that? You're gonna roast the guy who, according to your own words, paved the road to, you know, iron suits, weaponized armor that you can wear. Like, I don't get, like, on one hand, the way you talk about Tony Stark is like you admire him. He inspired metal armor suits for protection and for combat. But on the other hand, you act like you hate him and you want to verbally destroy him. I don't get it. Make up your mind. Do you like the guy or do you not? And believe me, I'm sure you guys have also seen the clips of Robert Downey Jr. giving his, you know, his quote-unquote blessing, his endorsement for the series. Robert Downey Jr. is going like, I love Ironheart. Congratulations on your show. I wonder how much money they had to pay him for that. Oh yeah, it was pretty funny. One of the very last Ironheart trailers before the show came out was some of the text on screen was Marvel's best show yet. I'm like, are you serious? Really? Marvel's best show yet? And then more text also said, Ironheart deserves your attention. Are you serious? Really? Really? Come on, you can't fool us, Disney. Not anymore. Not after all the years of crap you've given us. You can't fool us anymore, Disney. Deserves our attention, my ass. One of Marvel's best shows, my ass. And you know, the worst part of the episode, it was just boring. This first episode was boring. I did not enjoy it very much at all. I mean, you know, the CGI flying sequence was probably the best part of the whole episode, and that lasted like a minute. So far, with episode 1, Ironheart, it's not good. I may not like the show so far, one episode in, but I'm still gonna give it a fair shot. I'm still gonna watch it through. If not because I like it, then for the sake of completion. For the sake of watching everything in the MCU. And I already got spoiled that Han Solo is the son of Obadiah Stane, but who cares? Oh no, I'm spoiled of that. Who cares? I don't care that I'm spoiled. I don't know how old the character is. In universe, it's been like 20 years almost. Like in universe, I don't remember. By the way, don't forget, this show was supposed to come out like 3 years ago. So let's say the show takes place 2026, 2027. If that's the case, then Iron Man taking place in 2008 was like anywhere from 18 to 20 years ago. I don't know how old the character of, you know, the son of Obadiah Stane is. I don't know how old he is. Let's say anywhere from like 18 to 25, I would assume. Then his dad died when he was young. Anywhere from like, I don't know, like 1 to maybe 7, I think, I guess. Like his dad would have died when he was young. And you know, we never heard of Obadiah Stane having a son. In fact, we haven't heard anything from Obadiah Stane, anything at all, until I think Hawkeye, with what, Stane Estate? And then that one episode of What If with Bucky and Red Guardian. Yeah, so far, Ironheart, not good. Not off to a good start. I'm pretty sure it's confirmed that Ironheart, of all shows, is going to introduce Mephisto, played by, you know, Supreme Leader Admiral General Aladdin himself. I'm pretty sure it's confirmed Mephisto's in this show, but I'll believe it when I see it. I can't wait to see Sacha Baron Cohen be painted red. So next time I will have another episode of Ironheart to discuss. Yay. But that's not all. Next time I will also have an episode of Squid Game to discuss. Yay! Like, actually, yay for that one. How many episodes are there in Squid Game Season 3? Let me look. Oh, Squid Game Season 3 has 6 episodes, making it the shortest season of Netflix's Korean smash hit. Oh, there's only 6 episodes. Huh. So it'll have the same number of episodes as Ironheart. Oh, I can only hope Ironheart gets better as the episodes go, but I don't have much hope. I mean, they're going to combine magic with tech. You would think someone like Doctor Strange would show up. But then again, he didn't show up to when Westview happened. And, you know, who knows where Strange is at these days. You know, there's a bunch of movies I still haven't had a chance to watch yet. A bunch of summer movies I haven't watched yet. Thunderbolts, haven't seen that yet. We want to watch Sinners instead. I still haven't seen Lilo and Stitch, 28 Years Later, Ballerina, the latest Mission Impossible. I haven't seen a lot of movies. You know, I have this really bad taste in my mouth. I made a steak earlier tonight. I tried a different tactic this time. Instead of just pan frying it, this time what I tried was I baked it in the oven at a low temp, and then I put it under the broil setting. And now I have a weird taste in my mouth. It might be from the gas from the broiler. I gotta use mouthwash before I go to bed tonight. Hold on, I see this video recommended that I'm a little curious about. What does the speed of light look like on Earth? I'm gonna watch this real quick and then we'll talk about Gen V. Okay, well, I get it. Okay, let's talk about Gen V. This one, I believe, is episode 6. And I gotta say, this was a good episode. It is episode 6, right? Or is it episode 7? I think it's episode 6. Let's see. Yes, episode 6. This episode, titled Jumanji. I like this episode. This was a good episode to me. Alright, so we start off the episode with Kate making everyone remember everything Kate made them forget. Wow, what a sentence. Now that Emma remembers Sam, she goes out to find him. So everyone remembers everything that everyone remembers everything that Kate made them forget. Oh my god, now I'm confused. Now everyone remembers everything that Kate made them forget. Andre and Marie, they go out for a bit to discuss what to do next. Jordan stays behind to be with Kate, I suppose. And the guy, the roommate, I guess, of the roommate of Rufus is still there. The guy who was doing a line of coke in the last episode. The hell was his name? But I don't even know the guy's freaking name. Was his name Dusty? I think it was Dusty. Dusty was the guy who hosted the party in the last episode. Okay, so it was Dusty. I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Dusty is there as well. Man, of course his name is Dusty, you know? Dusty, the guy that does, white powder. And then you have Rufus, the guy whose superpower is essentially just roofing. So as Andre and Marie are discussing what to do with Kate, do they forgive her? Do they move on? Do they not forgive her? Jordan cries for help because Kate is seizing on the floor. So they go and help her. Marie is able to tell that her pulse is slowing, and they're just like, can you speed it up to save her? I guess you could just do that. Then again, we don't really have anything in real life to kind of answer, no, that would not be the case. That would kill them, right? If someone's pulse is slowing down, we kind of don't have a way to, externally make blood pump faster to see if that'll help them. We kind of don't have something like that in real life. Okay, so Kate seems to be stabilizing after Marie speeds up her pulse. But then they there's like a poof, like almost a bright light, and then they get teleported. Or rather, Kate seems to vanish. They look to the side, and then they notice, parts of the wall, there's an opening. So the three of them plus Dusty, they go out to investigate. They're in the middle of the woods, and then Soldier Boy pops out. We get a surprise cameo from Jensen Ackles' Soldier Boy in this episode. But it's not the real Soldier Boy. It's revealed that they're inside Kate's mind. And Soldier Boy is there because he was Kate's childhood crush. And said a bunch of gross stuff when you think about the fact that when you think about how old Kate probably was when he was explaining this stuff. Stuff like, I was her first crush, and I made her see God several times. She would hump a Soldier Boy pillow to high heaven. So, and then imaginary soldier boy's just like, I taught her how to jerk off. You kind of don't need to imagine how old she was when he's explaining this stuff. How hilarious is it now that we know with context? She's into Homelander's father. So, imaginary soldier boy reveals that they're inside of Kate's mind, and they need to get out. Wait, no, they're in there for a reason, but they can't be in there for too long, because those quote-unquote lightning strikes, those aren't lightning, those are like burst blood vessels in her head. And if Kate dies, if she becomes a vegetable while all of you are in here, then you all will also become vegetables. Oh yeah, how did they end up in Kate's mind? I guess Kate did that. Even Marie's like, I guess Kate's more powerful than we thought. So I guess Kate has more superpowers than just controlling people with touch. And of course, Soldier Boy's just like, before anything, I need to warn you, if there's one thing I need to warn you guys about, it's, and then he gets struck by lightning and dies. So now they need to find their own way out. Marie, Andre, Jordan, and Dusty is there for some reason. He just kind of tagged along. Well, let's see. Emma, she went and found Sam, and then they kiss. They have sex. Even during sex, while Emma was on top of him, he even pictures her as a puppet. Which, alright. That's almost about it for their storyline, because they show up afterwards, reuniting with our other characters. So while our characters are in the mind of Kate, they are able to see her memories. You know, it's very... It gave me vibes of, like, you know, Attack on Titan? Going through the memories. Remember that? Only this time they weren't able to influence and change the past, revealing it's a time loop. So they go back to the memory. They see the memory of Kate's mother in the woods looking for Kate's brother. And then they go back to Kate being literally locked in her room, sealed in her room with a ginormous metal door. And we see that Dean Shetty paid her a visit. Shetty paid her a visit, gave her some sort of blue pill to help her not hear the voices in her head. It's never said what those blue pills were or how they work. We just see the fact that Shetty has given Kate pills long ago. And then they start seeing other characters' memories. Wait, before that. So, and then the next memory is of Kate and Luke meeting in class. So, Luke is back in this episode, but it's a memory of him. So we see Luke and Kate meet, but Andre, you know, he doesn't want to be here for this, because, you know, the girl he loves who just betrayed him, he's watching firsthand how the girl he loves met his best friend and fell in love with his best friend. In a way, can you blame him? That's not easy for any guy to see. However, Luke started talking to Andre. It's not just that kind of memory where, you know, you only see past events. So Luke turns around and is like, I miss you, man. I miss you too. I don't believe you, Andre. And then we see on the TV screens, it turns out, not only has Andre been with Kate the whole time behind Luke's back, but Luke knew. Oh, at first I thought it was a dick move for you to hook up with your best friend's girlfriend after he died, but now it turns out he's been hooking up with her behind his back the whole time, while he was still alive. This guy's an awful best friend. So then imaginary Luke, Golden Boy, starts attacking them. And wow, what a surprise. He kills Dusty. Man, I knew it. The moment I knew whoever this character was, and I didn't even know his character's name until I just looked it up. Oh, by the way, I think I just saw a lightning strike, like an actual flash of lightning. Yup, I hear it. So, if the power goes out, well, tough luck. You know, as a kid, I used to be scared by lightning. Now that I'm grown up, not anymore. However, I think it's justified. I think it's understandable if the only times I am jump scared is by a sudden, loud bang. Like a really loud, sudden bang. I think that's understandable to make me jump. So yeah, I didn't even know the character's name until I just looked it up, the character Dusty. I knew the moment this random character tagged along, I knew he was dead. It only made sense. So yeah, imaginary Golden Boy killed Dusty. But I could not help but notice that later on, when they wake up, because they weren't physically in Kate's mind. You know, their bodies were still on the ground, unconscious next to hers. So where was Dusty's body? Maybe he was there and I didn't see it, but I didn't see him. I didn't see his body, his dead body. I don't know, maybe that was just me, but I didn't see what happened to Dusty after... I didn't see what happened to Dusty's body after he died in Kate's mind. So yeah, Golden Boy, he goes after them, they run for their lives, and then they end up in someone else's memories, not Kate's. They see Jordan's memory. Jordan's memory of trying to go to talk to Brink, and Luke is there, threatening him, borderline going to attack him, but then Jordan pulls out the knockout gas, and you know, she, because at the moment, Jordan was female, and for the first time, we actually get to see both Jordans on screen at the same time, because this is imaginary. So, also, while in Kate's mind, Jordan is only male, he cannot turn female. So in the memory, female Jordan is there. At first I was wondering, is this the first episode female Jordan's not in it? Nope. She's in the memory. So, female Jordan saved Brink from Luke, and then Brink is just like, Luke, he is unwell. We can help him. You, on the other hand, Jordan, you're exceptional. That's why I want you to be my, TA, I think he said. So basically, it's like a bodyguard, I guess. So not only was Andre pretty scummy to Luke, Jordan was as well, ignoring the fact that he has problems. Maybe Brink has something to do with his problems. And Jordan was actually protecting not only Brink, but also just ignoring the problems with Luke. So, damn, poor Luke. Luke has been done pretty dirty. So not only is Andre getting shit on, so is Jordan. And then next memory, they head down to the woods. They see down in the woods an experiment going on where there's like there's blood collection. They're collecting blood from both Luke and Sam, but they're both unconscious. Shetty's there, Brink is there, and I think one of the Dr. Cardosas is there. Luke wakes up, but then Kate is there. In the memory, Kate is there, and she's with Shetty. She puts her hands onto Luke and tells him, "You're going to forget this happened. You're going to forget everything happened, and you're going to think Sam is dead." And then we see so many instances of Kate making Luke forget. And so they start to theorize, maybe all those times kind of broke Luke mentally. Like his mind was completely broken by all the times Kate made him forget. So he kind of went berserk at the first episode and not only killed Brink, but himself. Well, after the woods, they go into Marie's memory in the bathroom. Right after she killed her parents, her sister Annabeth is there. She tries to apologize to her sister for it being an accident. She didn't mean to, but then her sister Annabeth is like, "You're a monster. You will never be a sister to me anymore." And Marie's just like, "It wasn't my fault. Just like it wasn't your fault, Kate. You were the one that told me it wasn't my fault." So then they see Kate. Andre is like, "Nah, you don't get to not wake up and deal with your problems. Not after all the shit you put us through. You need to wake your ass up and deal with your problems just like the rest of us need to." So they wake up. They all wake up. Jordan proves it by changing genders. Like I said, we don't see Dusty's body. It's not even acknowledged what happened to him. And hilariously, because writing, at the exact moment they wake up, Emma and Luke show up. So finally, all of our characters, the Avengers, have assembled. Luke actually begins to try to attack Kate, but then everyone stops him. So, it's revealed to everyone, Dean Shetty's behind all of it. So if we try to go after her, if we try to stop her and what she's doing, there's no going back. And speaking of Dean Shetty, there's a small storyline with her, continuing what Dr. Cardosa said about the virus last episode. So this episode, we see this other soup chained up in the woods. I think her name was Betsy. Who cares? She's been infected with some sort of virus. Some sort of virus that only affects soups. It attaches onto the compound V in their blood, and it cannot infect regular human beings. So we see just the extent of this virus. It makes this girl cough, weak, not really able to use her powers. Dean Shetty is like, "What if you up the dose?" We see at the end of the episode, a higher dosage killed the girl. So Dr. Cardosa is like, "I didn't mean to. I was just following orders. I didn't mean for her to die." Dean Shetty is just like, "Can you now make it contagious?" Because it's revealed by our characters that Dean Shetty, she hates soups. I guess that makes sense now. She hates soups, and she has the team of scientists in the woods developing a virus. A virus to not only weaken soups, but now they have the means to kill them. With a strong, potent virus that is impossible to infect regular humans. Boy, oh boy, imagine if Butcher met Dean Shetty. Imagine if William Butcher met Indira Shetty. What a deadly duo they would be to all soups. Imagine if someone like Homelander got infected. So yeah, Gen V. I like this episode. This was probably the best episode yet. There's 2 more episodes in the season, and then I gotta wait like a year for season 2. But in the meantime, I do have season 4 of The Boys to hold me out. However, like, I'm kind of mixed on how excited I am for the season. On one hand, I can't wait to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan, but on the other hand, I do know that season 4 of The Boys is like the lowest rated season, because supposedly it's gone pretty woke. So, like, we'll have to see. I'll have to see. Yes, The Boys has indeed ripped on woke before. They've had gags on woke. But, you know, that's not an excuse. That doesn't excuse the fact that it was still in the show. Even if they were mocking it, roasting it, parodying it, it still doesn't excuse the fact that woke shit was in the show. Ooh, I just saw a flash of light. Let's see, can we hear it? No, that thunder sound was really quiet. Why won't this Heatran be shiny? Oh, I hope someone let my dogs out. I hope someone let our dogs out to pee in the backyard before it started storming. Ooh, that was a big flash of light. And I'm now hearing the thunder. So it does take a couple seconds. You know, the flash of light isn't immediately followed up by a loud bang. Oh, you know what? Another piece of Pokemon Go news. So, the Pokemon storage has been upgraded. The max used to be 9,800. Now it has been upgraded plus 700 more. So now the limit is 10,500. Which is great for me. I have indeed cleared out my space a little bit, so now I have like 8,000 Pokemon in my storage, as opposed to, you know, the maxed out 9,800. Hold on. I don't know how well you guys can hear the thunder, if at all. You know, sometimes I forget. I get confused. Thunder and lightning, which one's thunder and which one's lightning. I have to remember, lightning, you know, light. You see the flashes. So that means thunder is the one that is the sound. Ooh, there's another flash of light. And now I'm hearing the thunder. You know, once I'm done this tonight, I will be watching the first episode of Squid Game, season 3. That's what I'm gonna do once I'm done this. Ooh, that was another bright flash. And now I'm hearing the thunder. You know, I haven't been counting how many seconds the thunder follows the lightning, so I can't tell if it's moving away or coming closer. I see another video I'm curious about. I'm gonna watch this first. It's 5 minutes. Falling into Jupiter bracket simulation. I don't know. Part of me did wonder. Isn't Jupiter a gas planet? So, like, if you could survive the trip, wouldn't you kind of just go right through the planet since it's just gas? Though, what the hell do I know, right? Another lightning. Whoops. Give me just a second. Oh my god, another bright flash. Okay, so the sound of the thunder is definitely, you know, happening a lot faster after the flashes of light. So the storm is moving closer. Let me discuss Diabolical real quick before the power cuts out. No, if the power cuts out, then how am I supposed to watch Squid Game after this? Damn it. Stinking ads. Okay, so The Boys presents Diabolical Episode 6. So this one was titled Nubian versus Nubian. That's because we have our main two characters. Well, we have four main characters. We have Nubian Prince, voiced by Don Cheadle. And we also have another character called Nubia. So, you know, Nubian versus Nubian. They both damn near have the same name. We also meet Groundhawk, voiced by John DiMaggio. Where have I heard him before? His voice sounded so familiar. Where else have I heard him before? Ah, no wonder. A quick search up, he voices Bender. No wonder his voice sounded so familiar. So, no wonder he sounded so familiar. The voice of Bender is the voice of Groundhog. Alright, so this episode, once again, seems rather simple to place in the timeline. Because there's no specific time. So I would once again assume between seasons 2 and 3. So for this episode, we actually open 8 years prior. Where the once hero, Groundhog, is now robbing a bank. Because he's just like, oh, what does hero get me? Fame, glory, being on the news? No, it doesn't pay as well as robbing a bank. So, Nubian Prince is there to stop his quote-unquote former friend and ally, and then someone new shows up. A woman named Nubia, who has electric powers? Let's face it, she's Storm. She's just Storm. So, the two of them, they team up to defeat Groundhog, and then they hook up. And then we cut to present day, where they have a daughter. We meet their daughter, Maya. And Maya is unfortunately living with two parents who fight all the time. Maya knows that her parents are about to get a divorce, so she hatches a plan. Actually, before that plan, so Nubian Prince, being the good father that he is, reads his daughter a bedtime story. His daughter's like, Daddy, are you and Mommy getting a divorce? And he's just like, no, of course not. But Daddy, you and Mommy fight all the time. Maybe we like fighting, you know? So then it's like, oh, here comes Mommy to kiss you goodnight and tuck you in. See, everything's fine. But then Nubia is just like, oh no, Maya, sweetie, Daddy and I are getting a divorce, and then your father is getting you a pony. Good night now. So Maya has the idea to track Groundhog, because at first I thought if he's an enemy of these two, why does her mother's phone, I think it was her mother's phone, whatever, one of her parents' phone, not only have his contacts, but also his address, like just down the street. So Maya has the idea to go over to Groundhog's house and ask him for help. Groundhog, his power is having hammers for hands, so he has no fingers. So it was pretty funny. It's like, alright kid, you're the one who wants to come in, right? This is a bad look. I'm not a pedo, right, neighbor? I'm not a pedo. So she goes in, and then Groundhog reveals the whole thing was staged. Vought wrote their script. So Groundhog was not some hero turned villain because the pay wasn't well enough. It was scripted. Vought actually planned ahead of time for Groundhog to stage a robbery, and then for Nubian Prince and Nubia to meet or team up. You know, it was all scripted. So yeah, Maya asked Groundhog to help her out, you know, get her parents to fight him together to remind them how much they love each other, but then Groundhog's like, nah, I don't want to. But then Maya's just like, alright, how about I tell everyone you're a pedo who lured me in here with your VS5. Not a PS5, V. V for Vought. V for Compound V. VS5. So Groundhog, not wanting to look like a pedo, he goes with it. So Groundhog stages, you know, putting Maya's life in danger. The two Nubians attack him. But then Maya's like, stop beating the life out of him. I asked him to do this so that, you know, so that he proves he's not a pedo. Maya's father's like, he's a pedo? Oh, so you definitely deserve this. They just keep beating the shit out of him. So it cuts from Maya hearing her parents grunting as they're punching him to grunting with the hardcore sex they're having in the next room. And then the next morning, after their split moment of rekindled love, they start fighting again. So then Maya's just like, here's your divorce papers. I'm really gonna get everything out of you two with this divorce. I want my motherfucking pony. And then the episode ends. Nothing too spectacular about this episode. It's just characters we never met before and I would assume has a low chance for us to meet in live action. So once again, seems like it's a pretty easy thing to place in the timeline, aside from obviously the beginning where it takes place 8 years earlier. And then in present day, I would simply put it between seasons 2 and 3. For the most part, except for episode 3, all the episodes you can easily place right between seasons 2 and 3 of The Boys. So so far it's very easy to place in the timeline. Okay, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick, and then we'll be back to continue. Ooh, as I was coming back, I saw the whole house light up with a very bright flash of lightning. You guys might be able to hear it now, too. Yeah, the storm's definitely coming closer. The sound of thunder is lingering longer. As well as they're happening closer to the actual flashes of lightning. I've spent so much money on Pokemon Go recently. But that's what happens when you're around Go Fest time periods. So, just about 8 more minutes, and then that'll be it for tonight. If you heard that, I'm grinding Blissey raids on the side now. I need more fighting Terror Shards. Hold on, hold on. So many things to pick up. Blueberry Academy has so much litter. So many things on the ground to pick up. I need both hands. Okay. Ooh, another flash of light. Several flashes of light. Let's see if we can hear it. It was pretty quiet that time. The hell is that sound? Alright, one more reset. One more encounter, and then that'll be it for tonight. And no shiny. See you next time.